In this adventure, I returned to Owens Lake, which until this past spring had been dry for almost 100 years. My goal today is to see if I can kayak on it.
Well, there it is, Owens Lake. Not quite as full as it was back in April, but still looks like it has a good amount of water in it. And if all works out, my goal is to kayak out there today. So we'll see if we can make this happen. Cottonwood Creek. All right, well, here goes nothing. Actually looks pretty full out on this side. Question is, can we get close enough to the water to launch the kayak and actually get out on there? This would be epic. If you didn't see the original video I did on Owens Lake back in April when it flooded for the first time, or filled back up, I should say, for the first time in almost 100 years, I'll put a link to it up there, but make sure you go and check that out. I also do a little walk around of the charcoal kilns out here. But today's mission, which I've been thinking about for since then, actually, get out on the water, see if we can actually kayak out there. See the old railroad bridge here?
Or I should say what's left of the railroad bridge, which isn't much.
Pretty cool. Natalie found her first dead end. Does look like there's another trail out there. We just got to find another way to it. Okay, this is looking promising if I don't get stuck in the sand. Wow, this is incredible. So I just took a walk down to the water, about 100 yards that way, and this looks totally doable. So I think I'll get the kayak set up and head on down there. So I've only assembled this once before. That was at my pool deck. We'll see how this goes.
So far, I really love this Advanced Elements kayak. It's easy to assemble, very strong and durable. That took about 5 minutes for me to put it all together and get it ready to go.
Well, I think we're about ready. Take a look at that. Tell me if I've got it all set up right. Let's do it. Flies out here. See how far we're gonna have to. Okay, I'm about shin deep. Let's see if we can get in this thing. Rowing on Owens Lake. This is so epic. Wow. So absolutely peaceful. Perfectly still out here. Wow. So you can see the trees over there. That's the town of Keeler. And right up that valley is Cerro Gordo. And in the late 1800s, they would actually run paddle boats from Keeler and Swansea over to this side, transporting the ore. Of course, that all came to an end when LADWP started taking the water out of the Owens River and dried this lake up. But as you can see, this year, 2023, it is no longer dry. I doubt this will be this way much longer. So while it is, I figured I would take this opportunity to get out here in a kayak. I don't think these ducks normally expect somebody out here. But of course, they don't normally expect water out here either. This is so incredible. I'm kayaking on a lake that hasn't been a lake in 100 years. We're heading north towards what would be the headwaters of the Owens River. You look up, right up there, you can see Mount Whitney and Cottonwood right over there. That's where they'd bring the wood down to make the charcoal for the smelters. Now I'm going to try something. It's probably pretty stupid, especially if you saw my video of flying the drone off the sailboat. We're going to see if we can't launch this thing without losing it. So far, so good.
I hope this video provides some perspective of how big this lake is. In prehistoric times, it was 60 miles long and 300 feet deep. Right now, I'd estimate probably about 8 miles long. And who knows on the depth, but probably not more than 20 or 30 feet.
All right, I think it's time to turn around here. Much as I'd like to paddle over to Keeler, I also don't want to get caught out here in the afternoon if the wind picks up. And my hope is to make it to Mono Lake tomorrow and do some kayaking on Mono Lake. And you can see him south towards LA. And there's the truck right over there. Almost back to the truck. Ran aground. So, I guess we're walking it in from here. Oh. For those who are wondering, I didn't lose the drone. I was able to land it back on the beach next to my stuff, thankfully. Don't mind the flies. Now we got to pack this thing up and get on to our next stop.
This Advanced Elements kayak was a retirement gift, and I love it. Took me 5 minutes to pack up, and I was back on my way.
I just did what's probably once in a lifetime, and that's kayaking on Owens Lake. So beautiful out there. Epic. Highly recommend it. Now let's see what else we can find on this adventure.
This was mid-September, and I was still astonished by all the water that was flowing into this lake. Amazingly enough, this section of the train track still had the bridge attached. It was still early in the afternoon, so I decided to do a little exploring around the north and east side of the lake.
Okay, I'm at a little interpretive center here. Well, not really a center, a kiosk, I should say. Reference Owens Lake. And I like what they say here. Owens Lake Dust Mitigation Program by the LA DWP. Well, if they didn't take all the water, they wouldn't have to do a dust mitigation problem. Just some thoughts. But it is pretty awesome to have water out there right now.
This is the lower Owens River that fills Owens Lake, or at least it is this year. Normally, DWP is taking most of the water out before it reaches this point.
Another interpretive sign here, talking about the different activities that occurred. Keeler's right over there. Road to Cerro Gordo, right on up there. And the charcoal kilns. Of course, they don't look like that anymore. Pretty neat.
This is one of 3 trailheads that LADWP has built around the lake, along with some interpretive signs and information about their dust mitigation efforts. This one is on the far east side of the lake, near Keeler, and it's called the Plover Wing Plaza, inspired by the snowy plover. You can also see the wetlands they've created out there to help with migrating birds. If you look closely at the shadows underneath the plaza, you can see that the cutouts are supposed to make it look like birds in flight.
If you follow this out, that's Olancha Peak, right up there, 12,132 feet. We got Langley Peak, elevation 14,032. I've been to the top of Langley. And of course, Whitney, tallest point in the continental U.S., elevation 14,505. I've been to the top of Whitney as well. And then Williams Peak, elevation 14,379. I have not been there yet. Pretty cool. What we have here, we've got Keenot Peak, elevation 11,105.
Well, today was epic. To be able to kayak on Owens Lake, which had been dry since 1926, hopefully is not a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. but if it was, I'm grateful for it. If you hadn't gotten a chance to come and check out this lake, I encourage you to do it. There's a lot to see here. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope you like this. Stay tuned, because on the next episode, I'm going to be going to Mono Lake.